Hey y'all. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay. Hello. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to Friday Night Live. I made it. I made it. All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Um, my energy level is a little bit low because I've been sick all week. I have been sick all week. I went out for the first time today since being back from California. I had a speaking engagement last Saturday. I want to shout out to, you hear it? I want to shout out to UC Berkeley, to the Women of Color, 39th Annual Women of Color Conference. They invited me as their keynote speaker last Saturday, and I had an amazing time. But unfortunately, Honey and I both got really sick coming into California, and then, of course, leaving out. Hi, Auntie. Thank you. Thank you. So, if you guys hear some congestion, that is the reason why. It's literally because I like lost my voice and dealt with all of that, and I'm gonna try to keep the coughing to a minimum. Um, but today I wanted to talk to you guys. Let me first introduce myself. So, thank you so much. My name is Tracy Collins. Thank you so much for joining me again on another episode of Friday Night Live. And here is where I talk about all things business and personal when it comes to women empowerment, women um, development. I love talking and empowering women, talking to and empowering women when it comes to personal growth and business strategy. That's it in a nutshell. Um, yeah, so that's what I do. And really lately, I've been talking about the power of the pivot. So me and Michelle on Casa Elm did a really good video on Wednesday, and we talked more about, excuse me, y'all, working with women and how I see the need and the gap and how that power and that pivot is so transformational if you really own it and knowing how to own it. So yeah, if y'all, maybe I'll link it in the description afterwards. I'll definitely do that. I'll do that. So anyway, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. It also lets YouTube algorithm know that hey, we want to see. Of course, I start coughing when I start talking. We want to hear and see more of Tracy. So, thank you so much. I appreciate it, y'all. Send me all of the healing energy. Honestly, I am feeling the best I felt in over a week. So today I'm actually about 90%, 92%. So, but today I really wanted to talk about portable revenue streams. And what do I mean by that? I mean money that moves with you. So there is a lot of talk on the internet. It could be TikTok, YouTube, Instagram about people moving abroad. But the number one thing that stops them is money. The number one thing that stops them is money or the fear that there won't be any money outside of that. Thank you so much. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to like my investor YouTube friends. This video is not going to be centered around that, but I definitely want to mention them. So Brown Girls Invest Too, Picky Girl Travels the World. Who else did I have? Black Women Build Wealth, The Budgetnista, and D. Coleman of Girlfriend's Budget. And I want to shout them out because they are in the stratosphere of like investment, retirement, and like building upon that. This video is not going to be centered around that. This video is centered around like my business besties, my girlies who want to create a business abroad or who have a business and have yet to like really take it to its fullest potential. In my years of being in business, I can't help but think like a business head, and I will always be that person, right? And business infrastructure is really my specialty. So when people come to me talking about, well, I would like to do this, but how do I execute? then that's where I come in and I help them strategize, I help them structure, I help with marketing, I help with changing mindset, because it really starts there. So I wanted to give you guys some tangible steps of business ideas and concepts that can move with you. And as long as you set the proper systems up in place and continue to work those systems, you will be able to reap the benefits from them. I am a person who believes in location autonomy. I don't think that you should trade your physical presence for money full time. I've never liked that concept, right? Excuse me. I've never liked that concept of trading your physical presence for money full time. It's one thing if you want me to come in like a speaking engagement, like I just did over the weekend. But my full 40 hours, the whole American way of living in life that people have been, sold into, I have always disagreed with that. I just didn't understand that concept. And I could never really thoroughly wrap my brain around the fact, like, I got to get up and do this all over again tomorrow. And this is going to be repetitious for how long? That's why I'm not a good employee. I am not a good employee because it never made sense to me, right? But with that being said, business owners need employees, and I don't want to negate that. There are people who help run the machine. So we definitely want to honor that. Hola, Carol. So I definitely want to honor that. But here I'm going to talk to you guys today about how you, if you choose to live a life of location autonomy, if you choose to say, you know what, Tracy, I want to move abroad, but I don't know exactly how to set myself up or position myself. I want to have more freedom and flexibility in my life, even if you don't want to move abroad. But I want to have more freedom and flexibility of my time, right? Of my energy. I want to be able to dictate the when, I want to dictate the how, and I want to dictate the how much. Here are some things that I would like for you to begin doing. And even if you plan to move abroad and you plan to do it in a certain time frame, I always say you want to start now. You want to start now, even in putting these wheels in motion. First thing I want you to do is I want you to, hey, mom. First thing I want you to do is I want you to establish your area of expertise. Now, what does that mean? We are all good at something. We are all good at something. And there is your ideal customer base or clientele out there for you, right? So I want you to really sit back and list at least 3 things, no more than 5, but at least 3 things that you are good at. And it could be like, I'm really good at making popcorn, which is actually one of my favorite snacks. But it could be, I'm really good at making popcorn. Okay, well then let's work this out. Let's strategize this. So what I use that as an example because it's a big old truck. I use that as an example because I want you to see it doesn't matter how big or small. It does not matter. There is a customer base for you. So establish your area of expertise. So in my area of expertise is business and wellness for women. That will always be, okay? So now that we've gotten that situated, or you have taken a pen right now, get a pen and a piece of paper right now. This is interactive. And list 3 things you're actually good at. Okay, now that you've done that, here are, and these are in no particular order. You guys know I have my notes on the side. These are in no particular order. I want you to start thinking about digital products that you can create that are easily downloadable for the general public. Now, what does this mean? It means that, first of all, you have to have a website or a landing page for it to live, okay? You have to have some kind of e-commerce site. It could be, mine is with GoDaddy, it could be Shopify. There's plenty of them out there, plenty of sites out there. But we're not going to talk software tonight. We're talking actual products. So the next thing with your digital products, what do I mean by that? It could be PDFs, digital downloads, and people will pay for these. But you also have to first create maybe like at least one free one, because that's your incentive. You are incentivizing your audience to, hey, grab this free document in exchange for your contact information, in exchange for your email address. Okay, because then what we're doing simultaneously is we are building up our mailing list. We are building up how we are going to communicate to our and reach our people. So what and the reason, let me put a cough drop in my mouth, because it's not that I have a tickle in my throat, it's the mucus that I'm trying to get out. Okay, so bear with me while I suck on this. That did not sound right. Focus, Tracy. um so with your digital products, what do I mean by that? I said PDF digital downloads for people who cook and you want to start a cooking channel, or you want to, start a cooking business, or you want to create a cookbook. You can have an online cookbook, which can eventually turn into an actual hard copy book. You can have just recipes that people download, and you can charge for these recipes. And you can close, Queen. I'm gonna try that because I just did some ginger shots and some green juice, and when I tell you I have like been herbed out. Really, black coffee with honey for phlegm? I didn't know that. Learn something new. You see what I'm saying? Thank y'all for helping us sister out. That's what I'm talking about. Like somebody will. How do you get rid of? This is ridiculous because I've been dealing with it for so long. Okay. Back to the digital products. So, and then also ebooks. And a great platform that we all are aware of is Canva. Canva will help you put all of that. Okay. Asthmatic remedy. Oh, okay. Canva can help you, give you the templates for all of that design, right? So the next product that you can create that is movable. We are talking about money that moves with you. We were talking about putting systems in place that move with you so you can have the time and the location autonomy that you desire and deserve, right? The next one is coaching. People want to learn how to do something, and you can create coaching programs. You can create coaching programs and courses. Courses are interesting to me. Okay, let me just stick with coaching really quick. You can create coaching programs that can be individual coaching or it can be group coaching sessions. Mentorship. Mentorship is a little bit longer, but all of this stuff is virtual. To me, mentorship is somebody that you take under your wing and you really walk them through. And I have mentored people and I have coached people for up to a year. And the shortest of that, my mentorship goal in my coaching is 3 months. And that is really one-on-one. These are weekly meetings. These are very intense strategies and what we are working through to get you to your end goal, to get you to where you can now put these actionable items in place for your business. And so we are going through infrastructure, we are going through business building. And when it comes to health and wellness, it depends on what your overall goal is. Is it to get healthy? Is it to reshape your life? Is it to draw in pleasure? So I'm really just working with people, honestly, from the inside out. And it's extremely in depth. That's how my mentorship or my coaching works. It becomes extremely in depth. Another idea of coaching, I have a mentee, and we meet periodically, Thursday mornings, once or twice a month. And she talks about where she is professionally, what her goals are, and where she also is personally. Because one of the ways that I work with my mentees and anybody that works with me, I'm always asking, how are you? And it takes them a minute because people will say, oh, I'm fine, but that's not the answer that I'm looking for. I'm a person who is trained to read in between the lines. Like I read women, I have read women for a living. I have read women in silence. They don't have to say anything to me and I will read you. And that's just where my expertise lies. So my job as your mentor or as your coach is to listen in between the lines, right? So that is how, to me, when working with Tracy, just to give you guys an idea of how in-depth mentorship and coaching can be, depending upon what their overall personal goal is, right? So the next thing I want to talk about that actually was not on my list was courses. Courses are, steps. It's like being in a classroom virtually, and you are teaching them something. I have set up a whole business that I sold. It was designed around courses. It was designed around creating a course, people attending the course virtually or in person, and then at the end of the course, they move on to the next step, should they get that far. And you can charge a lot of money for those. And the beauty of courses is that it can be interactive and live, or it can just live online in a recorded version, and people can pay for it, download it, and go at their self pace. So that's the beauty and the benefit of courses. So now we're talking about how to create money that moves with you. Money that moves with you. To me, and to my very limited way of thinking, because my brain is just wired differently, because I've been in the entrepreneurial space for 2 decades, you guys. There is no reason why you should feel like a prisoner to a position that you do not love. Also, also, there is no reason why you can't put a system in place with the proper guidance, so where you can do something that you are absolutely passionate about. My passion will always be helping women. As much as I try to get rid of it, sometimes I'll be like, Lord, help me. It's still something that I have to reckon with. It's like, okay, Tracy, how does this serve you now at this stage in your life? What does that look like? So, understanding where your expertise lies. Now we're talking about monetization. How are we monetizing off of what we know versus what we do? That, my dears, is how you begin to not trade your time for money. When people pay you for what you know versus what you do, we are moving out of the worker bee phase versus like paying me for who I am and what I know and what my expertise is. I am an authority in women's health. Shout out to the gringo and shout out to Terry, because I'm not the gringo, the griot, because the griot just dropped the 9 most influential Black women in health and wellness, and I was amongst the 9. So I didn't even know that literally just came to me 30 minutes before I jumped on live. But with that being said, this is why I say establish yourself as an authoritarian in whatever it is, as a person of expertise. Why should somebody patronize you? And then you stick to that and you work that. You work it and you work it constantly, right? It's the griot. I'm so used to, child, when you become an immigrant somewhere, that is a gringo is a word you hear a lot. Okay. So we talked about digital products, which can be PDFs, which can be ebooks, but these are digital products, are downloadable things that people pay for. You create a free one to incentivize your audience, and then you create other paid products. So like for me, you will see for one of my digital products, I have strategic departures. Strategic Departures is a video ebook that I did to help people strategically depart from either their business or their country. And it's available in one of these links that you guys can find. But that was just an example. Another thing that you can create for people, my business heads out there, and I used to have these, and I'm thinking about bringing these back, are business agreements. People want templates. People want easy, if your area is legal expertise, people want to just plug and play. So if you can create templates in your particular geographic region, because state matters, and jurisdiction matters, and then field matters. So, but if you can create digital downloads for contracts, those will always sell. Always. And this, when we talk about making money in our sleep, okay? The next thing is consulting. So individual consulting, you've now established yourself as an expert in your field, but and consulting is when people pay 30 minutes to an hour of your time. It can be on a continuous basis, or it could be a one-off. But they're paying your fee, whatever your rate is, to essentially pick your brain in your area of expertise, and they want your guidance. Your consultant rates can be based, competitively within your particular field. And then from there, you can set your time and day. So establish yourself as a consultant. How you can also do this is people hire individual consultants for them personally, but they also hire corporate consultants. It can help with team building. It can help with project management. It can help with human resources, whatever that corporation, however they see fit. They will hire consultants for, that are experts in their fields to do X, Y, and Z. So again, this is what we're talking about. Okay. The next thing we want to do is look at freelance work. How do you put your business out there on certain platforms where other people who have this particular need can find you? Fiverr, Upwork, those particular sites like that. Also, someone told me today, the Mom Project. That's another one where people hire talent to do X, Y, and Z. You can put your business on those platforms to be found. Again, this is you putting your business out there, dictating how you want, and then eventually attracting a contract with a client that can eventually turn into long-term contracts if that is what you so desire. So we've talked about digital products, coaching, courses, so that's 3 right there, mentorship, consulting, and for individual or corporation, group coaching. Did I mention group coaching? Let me go back to coaching really quick. Another way to maximize on your time and the money made is offering group coaching sessions. Sometimes, because for private coaching can cost more, but if you offer a group coaching session for whatever your area of expertise is, and you can attract more people, it can not cost as much to the individual person joining, but you can essentially attract more people and make more. Okay. So we're talking about how you can structure your business so your money can move with you. It is, again, portable revenue streams. I want us to diversify our thinking. I want our brain to always be, how can I monetize what I know? This is essentially about giving yourself freedom. Yeah, exactly. Notary. Notary is a mobile business. Sewing is a habit, and baking is child. People will pay for food. People will travel for food. People will buy food, and people will buy food in bulk for particular occasions. The next thing is speaking engagements. So now that you've established yourself as an expert in whatever your field is, and how do you establish yourself as an expert? You show up. You create YouTube channels. This is another revenue stream. You got to work it, but it is another revenue stream. But you create YouTube channels. You go on live and you connect and you grow your audience. You put yourself out there and you become visible. And then from there, you build a following. And that is essentially how you start establishing yourself as an expert in your field. But speaking engagements can be virtual or they can be in person. I love virtual speaking engagements because I don't have to leave the comfort of my home. But you can also get paid more for in-person engagements. However, within that compensation package, you want to make sure that your travel and accommodation and even a stipend is covered for your presence. And then you make sure that you give them the bang for their buck. But in a virtual speaking engagement, you have the comfort of your own home to be surrounded by your own things. Speaking engagements is another way to create portable revenue streams, you guys. Any questions? No, I don't have asthma. I have a cold. I have a cold. No. I'm at the tail end of the cold. Yeah. Another portable revenue stream, you guys, are membership platforms. Creating a membership platform. So you've created your following, you established yourself as your expert in your field. You've created your following, and maybe this following wants a little bit more from you. So when you become monetized on YouTube, people can join and become members. Those members get extra perks. You can also create a Patreon. Like my Patreon is really centered around women and wellness. And, health and wellness, you can join for free, and then the paid members get a little bit more. Link is in the bio. So these are ways that you can create membership platforms. And what that does is it creates recurring, hey, thank you, Michelle. It creates residual income, because ideally and essentially that's the goal, right? Because we're not talking about our investment friends that we mentioned earlier. We're talking about putting things in place that you see a need for, and you created it. You are feeling that need as an expert in your field, and then from there, people are paying more for essentially what it is that you know. Okay, they're paying more for your intellectual property. I'm big on intellectual property, by the way. Honestly, let me write that down because I want to cover that. Excuse me, y'all. I'm going to get into licensing in just a second. That's huge. I'm going to talk about licensing. The next thing is write a book. This is my first book. I'm in the process of conceptualizing my second book right now. I actually had a meeting a couple of days ago around getting my second book done. So writing a book, you have your following, you can promote your book on your website, speaking engagements. It can be listed other places. But promoting your book, it also creates a form of residual income. So people buy it, they can download it, they can purchase it, and it's print on demand, and you don't have anything to do with it. You don't have to necessarily house the product, which, the shipping and handling is on you. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of doing the least to get the most. That's how I work. Trust me, I work like that in my business and my personal life. Well, mostly in my personal life. Doing the least to get the most. The next thing is merchandise. For our design people out there, or people who just have a concept or a word, like I just created the Pivot Princess t-shirts that I've now attached here. But I've had merchandise for a very long time. My podcast, Healthy Black Girl had hoodies and t-shirts. I had other merchandise. Merchandise is something, and you want to put it on print on demand. Again, and working with those companies that do that. Teespring is one. I know I have Spreadshop. I think that's what it is. And there are others that are out there. Printify or Merchify or something like that with Shopify. They connect print on demand, creating a store like that, getting your software set up, getting your design. I have a graphic designer that I've worked with for over a decade now, well over a decade. And I hit him up and I was like, I need this. And he was like, I got you. You see what I'm saying? So, and then from there, they go on merchandise. Print on demand is a great way, again, to create another portable revenue stream that you're not responsible for the overhead. Yes, it's going to eat into the profit, but hey, that's the cost of doing business. The next thing I want to talk about is, so basically I've given y'all, what is it? I came in with 6. I've given you guys 8. I think a total of 8. I want to talk about licensing. So when people have intellectual property, you can create, and when you have intellectual property, I'm talking about things that you put on paper that you can then monetize, but it's a legal process. So you copyright it, you trademark it, it goes through that whole process. You can license out your intellectual property and people get paid big money for their intellectual property that they license out. I've created those systems. I know exactly what to do to get it done. When, let's say, if I put in, okay, this is how you set up a business, and then I go ahead and make sure that my attorney handles all of the licensing aspect. And then you come to me and say, Tracy, I don't want to do the work. I just want to plug and play. I'm like, okay, well, this is how you do it. Here's a licensing fee. Licensing fees can be a grip, and there can be a one-off fee for it, or it can be something that is annually renewed. And people will pay you individually or in a corporate aspect for your intellectual property. So when I talk about, again, how to create portable revenue streams, these are ways that you can set your business up to where your business has multiple streams of revenue. Okay? Because people will pay you. People will, I know, high coat, child, it is. Oh, thank you, Michelle. But people will pay you for all of the things that I stated. So let's just go over them right now, because I want to make sure that you have thought about what your area of expertise is. Okay. If you don't know, just and put at least three things that you love doing that. I'm going to use Michelle as an example. She's great at cooking, and she's also really good at interior design. So there's ways that she can monetize on those, even with the steps and the things that I've given. So we talked about digital products, from PDFs to ebooks, to even contracts. People will plug and play templates, digital products. So that's one. Then there's coaching, group coaching or individual coaching. That's two. Mentorship. Consulting is different. Consulting is you're paying by the hour. Coaching is something that's more ongoing and more in depth. Freelance work, speaking engagements, membership platforms, writing a book, merchandise, and licensing your intellectual property. Okay. So now I want you guys to go and sit and think about, how can I have more autonomy with my time and location, by putting myself out there, should you choose to, because I will be lying if I said it didn't take work. And it takes consistent work. And it can be very discouraging. It can also be scary. But again, you can work with somebody like myself. You can always book a call with me, and I will help you brainstorm the process and put certain things in place that you can possibly not even be thinking about. I thought about you today. Hey, lady. I'm glad you're here too. Um, Putting these things in place to make sure that you are moving your money with you and your money is moving with you. Not to mention making sure that you invest your money properly, making sure that you're putting the revenue that you gain from your business back into your business, okay, and that you set up your business properly. That's a whole different conversation. I was just talking about how to create portable revenue streams that will move with you. Do I have any questions? I don't think I have any questions. Oh, I needed all of this when you were growing up. I could have used the business venture. Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Let me see. How does coaching and mentorship differ? Yes. So coaching is more of, to me, this is my approach. When I work with my individual coaching clients, it is extremely in depth, and it's structured to where it's a weekly meeting, right? And we're going over a lot of business infrastructure and setting business up and what all that takes. Mentorship is a little bit more intimate, and it can be, and now we're touching on the personal side of you and also the business side of you, should that be what you choose. I'm not going to coach anybody necessarily through physical and personal wellness. That's going to be a more of a mentorship phase. Okay. And when you're setting up a business, you always have to deal with the person. It doesn't matter how structured or how, perfectly structured a business is. If the person running the business isn't well, some coaches don't do mentorship. Some mentors don't do coaching. It depends on what your area of expertise is. For me, my area of expertise just so happens to be business and women. So I'm able to interweave them beautifully, but I definitely separate them when I need to. So coaching for me is really centered around business infrastructure and strategy and growth. Mentorship has a personal aspect to it. We're talking about, how are you doing? What ways of wellness can we implement into your personal life to make you a better business owner, if they own a business? That's for me. Um, I want to know more about licensing. It came up this week. Licensing, honestly, and I've told you this, Michelle, your licensing for what you know as far as how to set up a business. Hey, Alan, how to set up a business in Mexico. Girl, you write that down, you take it through an attorney. My licensing agreement was 19 pages long. 19 pages long. And with embedded within my licensing agreement, I made sure that I got paid a certain dollar amount off of every student that came through the employer, licensee's course. So I got paid per student. okay? Or my business got paid per student because they came through my licensing infrastructure that they licensed for me, and people took courses. They took that particular course and under my umbrella and infrastructure. So there's ways that licensing can work. It's very, very detailed, but once you get it done and you get it done right and tight, that's a residual form of income that can be done annually or however you set it up. I'm a big fan of licensing. I'm actually thinking about, should I venture into that again? And if so, what would it look like? But I've worked with licensing. Oof, I built a whole company from it. And essentially, when I sold my company, my licensing is a part of that for the next, until this November. After that, they create their own licensing. So even my licensing stays with me. Ultimately, it stays with me. Mhm. Yeah, it's excellent. It is excellent. When I tell you, if y'all want to know how to license and want to have access to my team who helps license stuff, get with me, because you can build a team around your licensing intellectual property. People will pay you big money. They will pay you because people don't want to do the work. So essentially, what you're doing is you're doing the work for them, and they're licensing out your systems for their business. When to confirm, you license a course and someone else can use the information to teach the classes and you receive a portion. Yes. Essentially, in a nutshell, you not only can receive a portion of each attendee of the class, the person licensing the content from you is responsible to either pay you one lump, which I don't agree with, or to pay you annually should they want to use it and renew it. And always embedded, because my page, any contract that anybody signs with me, there's always a non-compete and there's always an NDA embedded within there. And it covers a wide jurisdiction range, a wide range. Yeah, you're welcome. The link is in the description. The link is in this description too, Michelle. Yeah. I just think it's a smart business move. And my IP attorney, she lives in San Diego, but and trademarks. Y'all ain't ready for me. I'm huge on trademarking. I own a lot of trademarks. It's not a cheap process, but essentially, you can't create or you shouldn't create a business or a brand without knowing and thinking about your exit strategy. Things that will go in that exit or that sale is your IP. And depending upon how valuable your systems are, now we're talking about exits, how valuable your systems are, how lucrative your business is, the residual income, and the projections of on your business from year 1 to 3 to 5, forecasting your logos, your intellectual property, your copyrights, your trademarks, whatever you have goes in that, and it adds assets to your business. So therefore your business becomes more valuable. Okay. All of that is you really want to bundle your business up like a baby. You want to package it and nourish it and take care of it like a baby, depending upon what your end goal is. Whatever that end goal is, you always have to have an exit plan for that. Okay. So within that, how do you build upon what you know? A lot of times, Black women, and I'm speaking specific to Black women right now, Black women, we aren't used to charging for our intellectual property. So when I say you get paid for what you know, that's the shit that I'm talking about. Like when I had those big corporations coming to me, I was like, I'm doing anything like, and another thing I have an infrastructure partner list. I have a hierarchy partnership list. What does that mean? If you want to partner with me on a company aspect or a corporation based level, the bare minimum to partner with me was $10,000. The bare minimum to partner was 10. That went in my sale too. But that's something that I can recreate easily. The bare minimum partnership. We're talking about partnership deals. Okay. This is very informative. So when people, and I'm speaking again to us Black women, because people will come to you, love your business, love your concept, love your marketing, love your structure, love your aesthetics, love everything you stand for, but they don't have the demographic that you necessarily are serving. So if your target market is Black or BIPOC, or if it's a minority group, oftentimes corporations will come to you wanting to put your label, your stamp on them. Well, in order to partner with you on any level, there needs to be a hierarchy system in place and what they get and for how long. The bare minimum should be at least $10,000. And then we go up from there. And we went up. I even had a funny story is all during the Black Lives Meet thing, and Black Lives Matter, I'm sorry, and the whole 2020 uproar. These Trumpster white women organization came to my company and they were like, yeah, we want to work with you. And I'm like, we always do our due diligence. So we're always going to look back at who you are, what you say you do, and your mission we look at all of that before we even reply. We made a meet. And then from there, we sent them over the partnership agreement. We didn't hear nothing from them. And I said, that's what I thought. It's like, put your money where your mouth is. Oftentimes, Black women are accustomed to getting, they don't even get their just due because they don't even understand how to structure a business. They don't even get their just due because they don't understand where the monetization or the power of partnership and what corporate partnership looks like. Okay. So when we start putting a dollar sign or a value on that, then guess what? It's either shut up or put the money up or go. Because otherwise, why are we talking? Okay. So everybody that comes to you and wants to work with you to some degree, there should be some kind of black and white between the two. So that way the information is clear. Thank you. Don't forget to like the video. How do I feel about sponsorships? I love, especially with YouTube channels. I don't know what you mean, Yvette, by especially with a YouTube channel. I think partnerships are good, but I also think sponsorships. I think sponsorships are good, but I also think with sponsorships, there's two forms. I think there is a monetary sponsorship, but I also think there's great media sponsorships. Don't be sleeping on the media sponsorships. What do I mean by that? You can partner with media companies to spread the word about, an event, your business, or something that you have going on. They may not necessarily show up in money, but they will show up in the media space. And you cannot pay for enough advertisement, good or bad. Okay. So somebody that will work with you that way. But I think sponsorships are great. But again, making sure your sponsorship packet is very, very clear and detailed. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So mindset board committee. Okay, I love that. So I hope this information was helpful to you guys. If you guys have any questions about how to structure licensing, sponsorships, that's another movable, portable revenue stream for you. Any of the products or things that I mentioned in this video earlier, please don't hesitate to book a call with me. Because I'm really wanting you to get paid. Yes. Wait a minute. Trademarking is key. It took me over a year. The USPTO is no joke. The USPTO is slow as hell. The USPTO is slow as hell. Not only is it expensive, it is a very, very snail's pace process. I just received another trademark that just went through that I put through 2 years ago. Okay. So when we talk about copywriting, not copy, because copywriting is easy, you can do that yourself, but trademarking, make sure you not only trademark your name, if you're the company name, my name is trademark. That's why you see the R, because essentially I'm a brand. That's what I did. Tracy Collins is trademarked. And you renew your trademark, I think it's every 5 years. I think that's what it is. If you want to. Yeah. Yeah. The COVID backlog. Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Excuse me, y'all. I'm all coughing in y'all's ear. Thank you. I actually feel better. Today is the day I say that I actually feel like myself. It's just this residual needs to clear up, but it's been getting better day by day. But I really thank you for and thank you for all of the well wishes. I hope this information was helpful to you. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really just about Black women getting their just due, about Black women being well in all areas, and that in the power of your pivot, this is a part of owning that power. Okay? It's about owning your power. I have a video. I said I was going to link the video that I did with Michelle in the description, but there's also a video way back on my business playlist. I talk about the pricing yourself at value. I think I want to do a video on that. I'm going to do an updated video on that because a lot of Black women in particular have difficulties pricing themselves at value because we're so used to not charging for our work, no matter what we're worth, no matter what our contribution. And that's a more mindset, societal, historical issue that is deeply embedded within the fabric of Black women in America, in the States in particular. So I think I'm going to do a video on that. If you guys want me to, please, drop down in the comments, let me know. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for joining me again on Friday Night Live. Thank y'all. Please share this video, and I hope you guys can use it.